swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Within the constraints that you've imposed, I will do the best.
We'll have you take a seat, Dad.
You gave your name.
I have not yet.
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
My name is David Paul.
Are you a physician by training and occupation?
I am a third generation physician.
Can you tell the court what your motives and beliefs were that got you in the roadway that day?
I have a number of different motivations that have to do with the fact that my grandfather, a physician, was the first one to take a hospital corps from the West Coast to the First World War. My father was a Navy surgeon and was 2.5 years in the Pacific with a landing hospital deciding which of the American troops that were retaking the Pacific from Japan would be left on the beach or would be taken back to the hospital. I was born 9 months after he returned from that war. I faced the Vietnam War as a conscientious objector and have spent my entire professional career as a physician working with Physicians for Social Responsibility. I've been on the local board for 28 years, the national board for 11 years, and was the national president of Physicians for Social Responsibility in 1997, the U.S. affiliate of International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War, the Nobel Peace Prize organization from 1985. I've in fact had personal contact with the physicians that convinced President Gorbachev that nuclear weapons were not usable. There were 5 physicians from IPPNW who met for 3 hours with him in 1985 and convinced him that the medical consequences of the nuclear exchange between the Soviet Union and the United States would annihilate both countries. Since that time, I have been involved with Physicians for Social Responsibility, which maintains a staff of 12, 14 people in Washington, D.C., lobbying on our behalf. We've been talking with all of our representatives. We've been attempting to bring the policy makers to understand that these weapons are unusable. We have here on Hood Canal at Naval Base Kitsap, Bangor, the largest concentration of actively deployed weapons of mass destruction, perhaps anywhere in the world. The only reason I can't say it's everywhere is we don't know for certain what's still in Russia. It's the largest concentration anywhere in the world, perhaps excepting Russia. One single warhead from a Trident submarine is 15 to 20 times the combination of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Mr. Trout,
That's fair enough.
The state's in check. We're trying to grant even a little more latitude
Sure.
than we did yesterday, but I think it's getting into a lot more detail than the court was going to allow. My understanding is it was just a general discussion of why they walked into the roadway on that day.
And I'm satisfied that he's kind of set a foundation as to what his reason why he's there. I think he certainly can testify about why he chose to do what he did that particular day, but I would, based on my previous ruling, would restrict testimony from you about numbers, about, generally speaking, the state of the world in terms of nuclear weapons. And this has nothing to do with whether that's accurate or not. You may very well be very accurate. It has to do with whether it's relevant to stepping into a roadway.
I appreciate the latitude that you've given me to this point, both of you.
So if you certainly can speak of the actual behavior that resulted in you being cited to be here.
The specific behavior in terms of attempting to block the road at Bangor, in a sense it's a prayer. It's a prayer on behalf of all of us, the folks working on the base, especially the folks that have to work directly with the nuclear weapons, as well as the rest of the community, that these weapons are never used. It's a recurrent attempt to keep people on their toes, keep the Navy on their toes. These weapons need to be very carefully taken care of to make sure that they are never misused. pending the time that we can eliminate them through other means. The other reason, in a sense, is that my commitment to love and justice it's completely anathema with the willingness that we have to accept the possibility that we would unleash this sort of holocaust on another human being. That we would, as a citizen of this country, I am perplexed and at a very fundamental level ashamed that we would present ourselves to the rest of the world as willing to incinerate whole cities. So that I feel compelled over and over again, as much as it may seem a quixotic tilting at windmills, to say that this is not acceptable, that we are not willing to be silent in the face of this. In fact, Senator Murray's office has told us that because we're there, whenever the Bangor base comes up in political discussions, also comes up the resistance to those weapons, and that makes me proud.
Those residents, and Mr. Back.
No question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hall. We'll have you step down.